Welcome to the Math Crew, where we learn new things and grow in mathematics. I'm Miss Nisha, your math teacher. Let's get started. Today we're going to have a mini lesson on adding fractions with unlike denominators. If you like an extended practice, there's an extended practice video available on the channel, but today this is only a mini lesson. If you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. Our first equation is 5/6 plus 8/12. Okay, when we have unlike denominators, that means that they are different, hence the word unlike. In fourth grade, you added and subtracted with like denominators that were the same. However, in fifth grade, you're going to add with unlike or different denominators. In this equation, our add-ins or our fractions that we're adding is 5/6. We have a 6 in the denominator, and 8/12. We have 12 in the denominator. Do you see how they are different? In order to add, we have to have like units, okay? We have to have like denominators, like pieces. I want the denominator to be the same number before I can add or subtract them. And we're going to learn how to do that today. Let's read here. These are our steps to solve fractions with unlike denominators. First, we're going to find the least common multiple, also known as the LCM, of all denominators in the equation. Next, we're going to create equivalent fractions with the common denominator. Lastly, add the fractions. So pause the video and write this equation down. Now, let's follow these steps that are listed at the bottom of our mat. If you don't have the mat, of course, you can have notebook paper and you can write this down. Step 1 says to find the LCM. LCM stands for least common multiple. All right. We're going to do that by taking our denominators, the 6 and the 12, and listing their multiples. The multiples of 6, let's list those. 6, 12. 6 times 3 is 6 times 4. Honestly, we can stop because we've already found the one that they have in common. All right, let's list the multiples of 12. 12, 24. I normally tell students to do about 5 or 6 of these, but because we already see the one that they have in common, we're going to go ahead and stop. Okay. The least common multiple is the multiple, the smallest one that both of these numbers share. And the smallest number that they both share is the number 12. That number is your LCM. The smallest number that they share is your LCM. Okay. Now, what's the next step? The next step says to create equivalent fractions. Create equivalent fraction. Pause the video and think to yourself, what is an equivalent fraction? Turn, share with your partner or neighbor. What is an equivalent fraction? You learned this last year in 4th grade. Okay, equivalent fractions, hopefully you said, are fractions that are equal to each other or have the same value, but they look different. Okay, we're going to have different numbers in our numerator and our denominator. So we're going to create an equivalent fraction for the fraction that doesn't have a 12 in the denominator. I want my fractions to be in twelfths. I already have 8/12 here. So what I'm going to create an equivalent for is this 5/6. Because is it in twelfths? No, it's in 6. But it should be in twelfths, which is what we figured out in our LCM. 8 of 12 pieces, and now I'm going to make an equivalent to where I have 12 pieces here as well. So the only fraction that I need an equivalent for is 5/6. And why? Remember, we have to know why we're doing what we're doing. Why are you doing this? You want to have twelfths, your LCM. So now ask yourself, 5/6 times what over what gives me a 12 in my denominator? Pause the video, turn and talk to your neighbor. Okay, hopefully you said 5/6 times 2 over 2. When we create equivalent fractions, we take our original fraction and we multiply by a fraction that equals 1 whole. Okay, 2 over 2 is the same as 1 whole. So 6 times what gave you 12? Hopefully you noticed that it was 2 because you know your facts, you know your multiplication facts. And whatever you do at the bottom, you're going to do at the top. So the fraction that equals 1 whole is 2 over 2. Now I'm going to multiply my numerators. 5 times 2 is 10. Now, instead of using 5/6, I now have another fraction, 10/12, that I'm going to use instead. Remember, the goal is to have the same denominator, same parts, twelfths and twelfths. Now, I have like units. Because I have like units, I can now solve this equation. 10/12 plus 8/12 is, hopefully you have on your paper, 18/12. 18/12. My numerator is bigger than my denominator. So 18/12 is what we call an improper fraction. When you have an improper fraction, you're going to divide, because we have to convert it from improper. I don't have to do this mentally, but I'm going to show you what's occurring. We're going to say 12 into 18 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. 8 minus 2 is 6. 1 remainder 6. I teach my students, this helps them to create the mixed number correctly. Beside this number, write a W. Beside the remainder, write the letter N. The 1 is your whole number. The 6 is your numerator. And the denominator is already given. We're going to keep those 12 parts. Those 12s. So our final answer is 1 and 6/12. 1 and 6/12, which is also the same as what? Hopefully you said 1.5. All right. Great job today. I hope you learned something new in the Math Crew. See you next time.